ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Doppler'S Gear Garage. I'm Doug. If we haven't met, welcome aboard. Coming to you from sunny Northern California. This show is all about, well, guitar, gear, technique, all those fun things. If you're new, do me a favor, say hello down in the chat. Let me know where it is that you're coming from. To all the familiar faces, hello, hello, hello. Today, our main focal point is going to be on something I call the practice ritual. And once we get to that part of the stream, I'll probably do something like this, indicating that that's where that's going to start. I'm going to point for the replay a marker to where that location is so you can jump right there, such that when you potentially want to rewatch any of this part, it's going to be there. All right, first of all, Braxel, good morning. Great to see you, my friend. Sonia, hello, hello, hello. You've been missed. Nice to see you. Always hanging out in the background here, not far from view. You've been missed. Mark Turvey, good morning, good morning. All right, so in a minute, we're going to jump into this practice ritual, but I do want to kind of give a little bit of preemption for the people that are already here. First of all, thank you for joining me. I will probably repeat this, but for the sake of conversation, the primary difference is that a routine is a sequence versus a practice ritual. A practice routine is a sequence of actions performed automatically for stability, where a ritual is a deliberate, mindful practice imbued with purpose and meaning, even for simple everyday actions. So, hello, Sylvain. What's going on up there in Canada? Hello, hello, hello. Eric, always a pleasure. So here's the thing. This is probably going to be, for one or more people, the most impactful stream I'll ever do. Simply because there is so much meat on this bone that the essence of diving into this... Actually, there's enough people here. So we're focusing on practice ritual. The difference between a practice ritual and as a practice routine is the intent with which we go at it. So there's a certain amount we can sit down at the guitar and go, okay, I'm going to practice, I'm going to run my scales, blah, blah, blah. That's very different than going, what is my intent? One of the things that I read kind of, talking about the difference between a routine and a ritual is the why behind the what versus just the what. So the reality is, I see your comment there, I'm going to get to in a sec, Sonia, thank you, that as you think about why you're practicing, is it just kind of maintenance? Is it speed? There's a number of different reasons and nuances to what we do as we practice, but I think most guitar players are kind of at a little bit of one level as they go to practice in terms of kind of going, what are all the things I can be doing? Let's make the analogy of a lemon. Really? If you're a chef, you have lemon zest with the peel. Most people don't think about the peel. If you like lemonade, you're going to squeeze the lemon. If you like iced tea with a little bit of lemon in there, if you want to make a lemon meringue pie, there's all these other applications. I think many guitar players just kind of go, I'm going to run my scales specifically, frequently with one goal like speed, and we miss some of the important things here. So I want to nest on a couple of different ideas that I've kind of pointed out here. One is what I call practice dry. That is to say, if we spend too much time just practicing without kind of some sort of... one chord, which is really a 5 chord anyway. That playing part is such an important part of the guitar playing experience because it's really like where we take all our letters and words and sentences and then we turn them into a story. That's such an integral part to not lose in the midst of focusing. I can see there's a bunch of chat stuff happening. First of all, hello everybody. I need to just be Focus Fox Doug today for a minute at least. So there is a certain amount that you have to have a balance between what you practice. As I've mentioned many times, I'm actively working up this pentatonic course, and part of what my daily ritual is that as I'm in my waking hours, I run through the notes of E, A, D, G, B, and E, minor pentatonic, to just kind of get my brain in the game even before my feet hit the ground. As I'm making my good morning espresso drink, I run through them as I'm standing there in the kitchen. The idea is it means when I go to play the minor pentatonic scale, I have this deeper understanding of what the notes are. For example, if we were to take a wacky string like B, B, A, as we go down here, I'm going to play it B, A, F sharp, E, D, B, B, D, E, F sharp, A, B. So that's not necessarily a key that we spend a lot of time in, much less going through those note names. But in the act of going, starting with the E string, E, D, B, A, G, E, E, G, A, B, D, E, A, G, E, D, C, A, so on and so forth. I go across the neck and I go back. I make sure that my brain really is, if you will, keyed in on those notes. So it's more than just kind of going, all right, I'm going to do E minor pentatonic. I'm going to do A minor pentatonic. I'm going to do D minor pentatonic. I'm going to do G minor pentatonic. I'm going to do B minor pentatonic. It actually means when I go to play that B minor pentatonic, if I'm thinking about what I'm doing right, B, D, E, F sharp, A, B, where I don't even have to think about it. And the why is I want to get to a place, and you want to get to a place with whatever it is that you're working on in your practice where you no longer have to think about it. That is speed and articulation. It's about note names. It's about scale degree numbers. It's whatever it is that you're trying to get to. And one of the dangers is that we spend so much time chasing the metronome for speed that if we're not careful, we miss some of the other lessons that are there. Let me take a quick moment and jump in and say hello to everybody. The improbable case, if any of you guys visit Guitar Summit in Germany next week, please stop by your booth. Sonia, I wish I was there. Have a great show. All right. David Ritchie, good morning. Jimmy, hello. That knee, I'm so sorry. That was a great video, by the way. I can't jump into that conversation yet, but to be continued. All right. And Albert, you touched base at the perfect time. Thanks for your email and the inspiration. Okay. Please do. All right. So here's the thing. Structure. So musicians have a tendency to either have way too much or most of the time have too little structure. So there's a couple of, and I've got a list that are seeming random ideas, but these are all really important things. There is what I consider structured practice, where I actually literally will set a timer, and my little timer is hiding in the studio today. I meant to grab, I have a second one that's upstairs, but it's basically I set 15-minute timers and I'll work on whatever it is for 15-minute increments. That is a very structured type of practice where I'm going to set a very specific goal, where I'm going to do something with the metronome that I call, hello, my friend. That's 160. I'll ramp up to that from 80 BPM, and ramp ups are the way that we kind of take what we can do slowly and make it so we can do it faster. Now, here's one of the things about practicing for speed. While we want to play faster, we want to have control playing fast. One of the things that a lot of players miss is they're looking for the BPM. I've had so many students go, the BPM, I can do 16 notes of blah, 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 BPM. And by the time I actually go to hear them do, I'm like, yeah, you're playing it sloppy and blah, 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 BPM. The goal is to really sit at whatever tempo you're going to be at and go, hey, you know what? I'm going to go for 80 here. There we go. Come on. Eighth notes. And we're looking for total consistency, equal volume control. One of the other nuances that I want to encourage you to think about, of many things we're going to talk about today, because I got so much to teach on this, and I'm so passionate about it. I'm so excited to share this with you. What about dynamics, right? So the funny thing is, I was lying in bed this morning at about 4 o'clock. I was like, all right, piano, forte, there's mezzo piano and mezzo forte. There is literally no Italian term for right smack in the middle. So so we're going to call it mediante piano forte, which is right in the middle of those two. But there's piano, medianto, piano forte, and forte. And the idea is you're running these things. One of the things I would suggest practicing, which a lot of players don't do, what's piano sound like? And can I consistently talk and speak the English language, playing the whole thing, and then mediante piano forte, and then forte, and practicing all these different dynamic ranges, because most players have a tendency, if there's one thing on the playing side, they have a tendency to play with one right hand volume. And the thing about playing just like the spoken language, a great solo has you hang on certain words and you get quiet and you get a little bit louder. So the ability to program that dynamic capacity in your hands is something a lot of players don't do. So there is also something I put down here, which is kind of wacky. So, and a moment ago we were talking about the structured practice. Conversely, there's free-form practice where I'm not going to set a timer, and I'm just going to go over whatever it is, and I'm just going to sit there and do it. One of the things that is one of my favorite things to work on is what I call foursies, and it's kind of cute, and it makes fun what is arguably can be one of the most frustrating things about this. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the chat here, but I really want to stay focused, Fox Doug. Most of what I practice is things that I'm not good at. And I've come to the realization that, like 15-year-old Doug, there were all these other people that studied with Joe who had way more technical facility than I did. And I had to practice until I could get my technique leveled up. And if you take a look at the world today, you see all these people with unbelievable technique. And I find myself once again, and it was my aha moment of the day, I'm like, well, of course, if you would say as a musician, your gift is more on the musical side and the teaching side than it is just as a raw technician, which for me is actually, I would rather have the musical teaching side than the raw technician side, personally speaking. However, when you look out in the world and you see all these brilliant technical players who are also very musical and are also brilliant teachers, you kind of go, ah, and it can make you feel a little small. But that motivation is actually a really good thing. And I realized, got it. Well, of course, like the natural control of the instrument was something I had to work very, very, very hard to get. So I'm kind of back at that. I went, oh, I've done this before. So that is to say, your frustration can become your inspiration. So the free-form practice where we're just going to pick certain things, and in turn, the things that I'm focusing on are things that I don't do well. And these are things that are common to lots of different players as string transitions as we move from string to string. The other thing is I'm going to suggest that you take a look at the G major three-note per string mode. And notice I'm bone dry, no distortion, just kind of that. If there's going to be any magic happen, I'm going to have to work to make it happen. So the deal is, if you take threes, what's neat about that is you're going to get these different combinations of what I call notes play. We got basically what I call 3, 2 and 1, and 1 and 2. 3 notes on the same string, 2 on the same string, and then 1 on the other, and then 1 and 2. 3, 2 and 1, 1 and 2. 3, 2 and 1, 1 and 2. And it's a great way to really get used to changing strings, because there's a lot of back and forth. If you just go straight across, there's one string change right there. But this, one, another one, and then you're across to that next one. The other thing is, when you get to this spot right here, when I briefly talk about that transition for those that care to, and I hope you got your guitar in your hands. Basically, we're at the third and second strings there. We're basically going to go in position there, position shift right there, And that gets us ready to move on to the second string. On the way back down, right there is the same place I'm going to make that transition. The same place I made it on the way up. So, although I played 4 notes there, I'm going to loop that. And this is one of the other things when we do a more free-form thing, we all of a sudden sometimes find... I'm going to stop in a second. I played a little differently. I intended to play. There you go. But we find we end up in a spot like that, and then we then go, okay, let's take that spot and loop it. Because that honestly is the hardest spot of the whole thing, and that's where we have a tendency to fall off. So we target and isolate that. And the idea that you can also do foursies. Now, as you go to do that, you're going to discover you're going to have these, what Mr. Satriani used to refer to as finger rolls. He's not the only one, but the idea. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. So as we're going like this, for example, rather than moving the second finger across, we're going to use that finger roll there. And as we go, so as we do those in foursies, right there I'm at F sharp, E, and D. So we got to do that. Hang on a second. Let me introduce you to my little friend. Hang on. Let's try. How about you? There we go. So we got. But this little bit of business. Let's try this. There we go. That little finger roll right there. That is not your friend, but the idea. See, let's switch cameras again. I'm going to go here. And again, kind of what ends up happening is you end up kind of down this little bit of a rabbit trail, but you end up finding these elements that are super important to your core technique. And it's not until you drill down with that mindful rather than a practice routine where I'm just going to go through stuff, but a practice rituals where you're ritually looking at the things you do well, hunting for the things that you suck at, and fixing them. So the idea here is these finger rolls are what make a big part of when we do foursies, not like that, hard. So the exercise that I kind of came up with in preparation for today was, first of all, if you take just kind of, if you will, a regular chromatic sequence, because you could, if you just thought about it, all right, hey, I've only got this transition happening that I'm working on just on the third and second string. So we might just be inclined to just start there. So that is, say, that would be going like. So that is, say, I'm going to go first finger on the third and second string. Let's go down the neck here. Let's try you. Let's try that guy. So we're going down. Sorry. So we're going to go first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth, third, second, first. So we're going ascending with the first finger, descending with the second finger, ascending with the third finger, descending with the fourth. Then we flip it around, ascend, descend, ascend. Without going. That's not what we're wanting to do. All right, but that's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1/5 of the story, right? So the deal is we really want to be able to go. Sorry, I made a mistake there, but I want to talk about what happened. I came down. So we just finished a finger roll there that we need to then go into that finger roll there. So that is, say, we came down fifth, sixth, and we got to go fifth, fourth right after that, which is the whole point of the exercise. You're kind of going, well, there's going to be some point you're going to want to do something like that. And, you know, as I put together different types of licks and I'm formulating ideas, sometimes I find myself with a sequence where I'm like, oh, I have to make that first finger jump there. I need to get better at that. So let me again just go. We're going to, basically, if you just took 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 6th and 5th strings, you're going to ascend 6th, 5th with the first finger, descend 5th, 6th with the second, ascend with the third, descend with the fourth. Then you're going to flip it around, ascend with the fourth, descend with the third, ascend with the second, and descend with the first. Then we're going to move it up a string. Then what I will do is I'll do a turnaround. So where I went like this, and then I'll start, and then from there it will be now going backwards, such that as we end up at that first finger, then now I have to lead with having gone second, first. Now I got to go third, second. And that's a hard transition. So that is to say we finished the ascending part, up first, down second, up third, down fourth, up fourth, down third, up second, down first. And we flip it around. Down first, up second, down third, up fourth, down fourth, up third, down second, up first. Then we flip that around. I did that backwards. Hang on a second. No, I don't. Wait, hold on. Right, no, sorry, my bad. So we flip it around as soon as we've gone. We then go from the other direction. And then we always start it from there. So that is to say we go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Then we go down, up, down, up, slowly. All right, so at first that is butt hard. It's because you've got to get these guys so each note, speaking of butt, butts up to the next without getting what I call overrings. But then the next level of difficulty, trying to talk and play at this thing of time, is getting from here. Come on, Doug, I can talk and play this at the same time. I can't. All right, getting from here to there, that transition. So what you might also then do is go, okay, well, if I'm finishing, so that is to say the last thing I play in the first sequence is that, where I'm descending. And then the first thing I play in the next sequence is ascending. So that's going, I'm going to descend on the lower pair, ascend on the upper pair, descend on the lower pair, ascend on the upper pair. And those are the sorts of things that, by the way, if you're a real sadist, you then do with each of your different fingers. And the pinky which I don't think I did right. Hold on. So it's going to be, and then, there it is. That is it. I'm going to go down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Then I'm going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I give myself permission to make mistakes here, by the way. All right. You get the idea with that. I'm going to leave that guy for the sake of time. I'm going to jump in here on the comments real quick. Yes, Jeff Beck was the king of dynamics, and dynamics matter a great deal. Good morning, John. Lewis, hello, hello, hello. Most of my practice these days involve me singing the notes while I'm playing. How much do I enjoy that? How much do you employ that in your routine? Man, I still have to think about where the notes are too long. Okay. And Braden, good morning. I thought about your single. I did not get a chance to listen to that or watch the video yet. Good morning, Eric. Love you dearly, my friend. Norman, hello, hello, hello. May the groove be with me. Good morning, Digital. Hello, hello, hello. Paul Richard, great to see you. That little guy, by the way, is great for control and really maximizing your ability to articulate individual fingers. And by the way, Albert, that's a good one for you. Music is live. That's why our hearts beat. Thank you so much for the helpful tips. Thank you, actually, because you're watching. Without you watching, I'd just be sitting here talking to myself. All right. Okay. Jumping string exercise right there. Slappersaurus, what's going on? I'm doing well. Welcome aboard. Okay. So before the fixated self that I am leaves this idea, I want to say that the pinky version of that was going to go, as we move across the strings, we're going to go this pair, and this pair, and then this pair, and this pair, this pair, and this pair, and then this pair, and then so on and so forth. So on the way across strings moving up, we're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then down. No, then it's going to flip. My bad. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, then up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I can assure you that exercise, if you want to get your pinky in order, that's going to do it. Because the challenge is there will come times like right here. I played that a couple of weeks ago. Meow mix, right? So here's the deal. That little sequence right there, do me a favor, grab your guitar if you don't have it. Basically, and we're going to come back to note names in a minute, because there's lots of meat on that bone there. If we were taking this G major 3-note per string mode, and we're going to take 4, 3, 1, 4, that's exactly one of those places where those finger rolls are going to be there. And if we're not careful, when we go to play that note on the second string, I picked the second string, but I got an unwanted hammer on the high E string. So you want to make sure you work on those different types of ideas, and that's where these little guys. So if you were to look for a musical version of that, you would take... By the way, na is G. You want to be listening for those little open string noises that creep in there. Now this is where it gets a little strange. This is our fingering right there, so I'm going to finger that. Thank you. And then I'll back up. So Albert, you were talking about some work on finger independence. This one's got your name on it. Then you just continue on. Sorry, that one's going to be, I'm going to move the first finger across there. So that is to say this little spot right here does not have moving straight across fret for fret. Finger rolls here, you're moving from this C to this F sharp. So basically I would take this little sequence there, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3 4 2 2 1 1 3 2 4 4 3 2 and then 1 1. So I'm going to move the first finger across there. 1 2 2 4 4 2 2. So that's. And then you're back to this guy. And then what I would do is then I'd flip directions there. So that is to say we went up, then and then you go back down the neck. So that's one of the traditional things that I'll do, where there may be times that I just want to work from the lower string to the upper and back, and I'll go up and down the neck. But quite frequently, I'll kind of do a turnaround there at the top of the neck, such that I can make sure that I do it. And again, this is where rather than just mindlessly, I'm going from low to high, up and down, kind of go, wait a second, what happens when I get to that other direction there? All right. Both of my cats were sleeping. All right, so I see. All right, so that's actually, it's not going to be. So originally when I played that sequence, it actually would be like. All right, so as an example, 1 7 6 5 1 7 6 5 1 7 1 sharp flat 2 1 7 6 5 1 7 6 5 1 7 6 5 1 2 7 6 5 2 7 6 5 2 1 2 1 2 flat 3 3 1 6 5 1 7 6 5 and you know you want to sing it as well. 1 7 6 5 1 7 6 5 1 7 1 flat 2 2 7 6 5 2 7 6 5 2 7 6 5 2 7 2 1 2 flat 3 3 1 6 5. So that sort of wackiness will get your brain and ears connected. This is one of the other places. So Lewis was talking about singing things, whether it's scale degree numbers or note names. I'm going to take a left-hand turn. Thank you so much, Albert, with great pleasure. Music for cats and musical cats. Mark one of the Pantera. Mark one of Pantera Bro for the Cranberry Piss. I don't know what that means, but I think I like that. What's going on, Benji? How you doing? Okay, so here's the deal. For those of us that actually, I'm going to go. I'm going to talk a little bit about intervals, note names, and scale degree numbers. And again, one of the things is the difference between a practice routine where we're just kind of mindlessly playing the same stuff over and over, which is, by the way, really important for just building muscle memory. There are times it's totally okay to just go, hey, you know what? This is just a practice routine where I just want to keep my fingers in touch with what's going on with the guitar. And there, the goal is to just kind of go, I want to just make sure that I've got the control. My dare to you. I dare you. I dare you to practice it slowly. And I said this to one of my favorite students. They're all my favorite students, but Gabriel, he's 15 now. But I reminded him it's way better to spend less time practicing it slowly than spend more time playing it fast wrong. And it's a lesson that I just keep having to teach myself over and over, so don't make my mistakes. But the deal is, at a slow tempo, you hear all the stuff. At a faster tempo, the notes are going by fast enough that sometimes I'm purposely hitting that low E string, that pull off there. But you don't really notice it as much as when you do it slow. You're like, okay, there's something going on there. Now, intervals. 1 flat 2 2 flat 3 3 4 sharp 4 flat 5 5 flat 6 6 flat 7 7 1 1 7 flat 7 6 flat 6 5 flat 5 sharp 4 4 3 flat 3 2 flat 2 1. Now, first of all, if you can, that's literally just singing the chromatic scale, but being able to identify, well, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B flat, B, C, D, D sharp, E, D sharp, D. I've never done this before. C sharp, C, B, B flat, A sharp, A, G sharp, G. Oh wait, I got off somewhere. D, E, D sharp, D, C sharp, C, B. I think I must have gotten around the C sharps over there. B, B flat, A sharp, A, G sharp, G, F sharp, F. This time it's going to be E. And so here's the deal. If I were to play the major scale, the order of whole steps and a half step, if you think about it as intervals, excuse me, is major second, as in 2 frets. Major second is in 2 frets. Minor second is in 1 fret. Major second, major second, major second, minor second, minor second, major second, major second, major second, minor second, major second, major second. Most people, when they play the major scale, they think about it, or I think about a shape. They're not, most of the time, thinking about what's happening. Sorry. About what I call neighbor intervals, or what I'm going to call tonic intervals. And then there are internal intervals. What a pussy I'm looking. So those are thirds, right? So the idea of getting comfortable with navigating the intervals. So this is where the mode part of this matters, and this is where all of this happens. So if I think about, I can think about that as a, first of all, a minor second, but as I think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That is to say, if I take this major second, minor second, major second, major second, minor second, major second, major second, major second, major second, minor second, major second, major second, and think about that as 1, hold a 2, hold a 3, half to 4, hold a 5, hold a 6, hold a 7, half to 1. 1, half to 7, hold a 6, hold a 5, hold a 4, half to 3, hold a 2, hold a 1. We've got basically the half steps occur between the 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. 1 and 7, 4 and 3, 3 and 4, 7 and 1, 1 and 7, 4 and 3. Everything else is a whole step in terms of adjacent intervals and adjacent notes. So if we then kind of go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to drill down there for a quick second because this is going to be important for somebody out there in particular. Most people, when they're practicing their scales, are not thinking about the intervals that are driving the sound of this. So when they go to solo, they feel like they run like not most people, but many people, when they solo, they feel like I'm running scales. It's a common thing that you see people saying. Part of that is that they're not really getting the sound of the intervals in between those connected. Even if you just took the G major 3-note per string mode and went, and really, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 1, 1, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, B, E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E. You get a connection at the intervallic level that when you just start playing the scale, once you've heard it, it's kind of like roadkill. You can't unsee it. It's so important. It's not how most of us learn to do these. back to this little kind of taking the chromatic scale and then learning to build modes out of it. That is to say, this is the chromatic scale, but really what that is that as I see that, the way I perceive things, it's like I vomited out every single possible mode, and they're all living at the same tonal center at the same time. That is to say, I'm going to take the first three. No, I'm actually... hold on a second. Let me just take a quick moment and just... hello, Shredward. Good morning. Al Dimiola. Amazing, amazing indeed. He is... I saw him at Yoshi's not long ago. Norman, what's going on? Yes, he is amazing. He's just... So basically at the Petrucci camp, short story, they had 3 different campers come out and play Pull Me Under, where, unbeknownst to them, it was a test of all the drama that can go on stage. And they had an air blower. There was water. They were yelling. They were taking selfies. I mean, it was nuts. Gabriel was flawless. It was unbelievable. And Maddie's back there changing presets, having sounds cutting in and out, going to a clean section at the fastest, hardest part of the song. It's a totally clean tone. Gabriel nailed it. I'm just so proud of that kid. Nick, what's going on, my man? You're never late. You're right where you need to be. Great to see you, my friend. All right, so here's the deal. If I think about this little chromatic sequence here, and I would have mapped whole, half, whole, half, and I can think of that as 1, hold to 2, hold to 3, half to 4, hold to 5, hold to 6, hold to 7, half to 1, which is the DNA of the major scale, which we can express as now as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Now, that is a relative thing, so I could take it to another key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Doesn't matter where I play it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. However, if I go here, the benefit of the note names is that's E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, B. So one of my insane rituals that I absolutely love is that when I'm driving for what is mostly my daily walk is I go through each of the modes at E, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to start off with the scale degree numbers because that makes it, in terms of ear training, it gives us a way of describing something that's true of every key. That is to say, no matter where I play these modes, it would be 1, 2, 3, and I will sing just for the sake of it, and I apologize for all those out there, but for Lewis's point, this is a great exercise to get your ear born. And I'm going to call it the mode name when I play the first note. Major 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Dorian 2. Now the third note of the major scale is there. Third note of the Dorian mode is there. So if this is major 2, 3, that is Dorian 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 1, flat 7, 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1, Phrygian flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, 1, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, flat 2, 1, Lydian 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 7, 6, 5, sharp 4, 3, 2, 1, Lydian, a minor 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, 1, flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1, Locrian flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, 1, flat 7, flat 6, flat 5, 4, flat 3, flat 2, 1. So the reason I made my mistake there when I kind of stopped was I was thinking about this is a great place where touch dynamics with the right hand really matter because I was louder with my voice than I was with the guitar. But the idea of being able to know those scale degree numbers and actually be able to go major 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, Dorian 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, Phrygian flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, Lydian 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, mixed Lydian 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, minor 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, Locrian flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. The ability to have the sound of the modes in your ears is really valuable, and in turn be able to turn that into E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E, and I'll call it the mode name when I play the first note. Dorian, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, Phrygian, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, Lydian, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, E, D sharp, C sharp, B, A sharp, G sharp, F sharp, E, Mixolydian, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, E, minor, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, E, D, C, B, A, G, F sharp, E, Locrian, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, E. So the ability to be connected to that. So somebody out there, I can feel it through the internet. Why do I need to know the note names? So I'm going to go to the pentatonic here for a minute. I don't see any new comments, which hopefully means that you are sitting there with your guitar, which is exactly what I want. If I took the minor pentatonic here. Last week, we touched briefly on kind of why note names matter. As I'm kind of in mad course preparation, kind of how deep do I need to go, and how deep do I have to go to get it right for people? I'm constantly, basically what happens is somewhere between 4 and 5 in the morning, I wake up and I'm lying in bed. And I'm going through the note names of the pentatonic, and I'm thinking about minor third, major second, major second, minor third, 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 major second. Thinking about these things, well, G, B flat, C, C, D, D, F, F, G, G, F, D, so on and so forth. Thinking about, and then G, B flat, C, D, and then B flat, C, D, F, and then C, D, F, G, and just kind of mapping these things out in my head. Why do the note names matter? It's a great question. So if I'm in G, I can play just fine without really thinking about the note names of the scale degree numbers, because you just kind of begin to feel where the good notes are. But as you're learning that process, this is where knowing what's going on becomes so important. And as I'm kind of outlining the principles of the pentatonic course, I came up with 3 really fundamental things that what we're thinking about, and this is where kind of the mindfulness of that separates a practice routine from a practice ritual is like, we're really kind of going, what am I doing here that is reflecting the why behind the what? So the deal is there are 3 main things that we do. We learn, we practice, and we play. And that was kind of my comment before about practice dry. If you don't play enough, you get quote-unquote practice dry. You're practicing a bunch, but your playing is a little bit dry because you're not spending enough time actually playing. So the crossover points between the learning, the practicing, and the playing is super, super important. And that's one of the things about this pentatonic course that I'm really trying to be missional about. It's like, how do I get people that don't know how to do some of the things that I've learned to do and think the things that I'm thinking so they can play their version of the things that I'm playing? So if that little phrase right there, if I were to think of the minor pentatonic, actually if I took the E major scale and I took its first, third, fourth, fifth, and seventh notes, and I took the third note and I created a flat 3, and I took the seventh note and I created a flat 7, that 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1 sounds an awful lot like a minor pentatonic scale. And in turn, you can think of it as minor third, major second, minor third, major second, minor third, major second, minor third, which we can think about as a 3-fret distance, 2 frets, 2 frets, 3 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 3 frets, 3 frets, sorry, English, 2 frets, 3 frets, 2 frets, 2 frets, 3 frets. Again, minor third, major second, minor third, major second, minor third, major second, minor third. If I take that and play it a G, so one of the things that I'm kind of doing with the pentatonic thing is getting people, preparing to get people hearing the minor pentatonic as its intervals. And think of that also as 1, flat 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, flat 7, 1, and G, B flat, C, C, D, D, F, F, G. So when I go, and play these different things, you can kind of go, all right, that's going to be 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 1. I can also, though, go D, F, G, B flat, G. Now, why that matters is if I go, all right, that's D, F, G, B flat, G, D, F, G, B flat, G, D, F, G, B, D, F, G, B flat, G, 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 D, F, G, B flat, G. So I can then begin to go, hey, let me take that knowledge of the note names, besides a couple little farts there, D, F, G, B flat, G, 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 D, F, G, B flat, G. So I'm not just taking a shape. So the notes play, and we talked about this before where we were talking about 3, 2, and 1, 1 and 2. So on and so forth, we got basically 1, 2, 1. Then we got 2 and 2, 1, 2, and 1 again, 2 and 2. And then we just jump up the octave there. And kind of like you would do if we were taking, again, pattern number 1 at G. People have a tendency, if they're going to move on either side of pattern number 1, they'll go to the lower notes of pattern number 5, slide into pattern number 1, and the upper notes of pattern number 2. Is that little octave relationship right there? We did that D, D, D. Now, the really important reason, I saw something coming in there, so let me just finish this up. One of the other terms I'm going to come back to that great question. I'm going to read it out loud in case anybody's on a mobile device, and that's like about that big. Are you thinking ahead with the notes you want to play with the chord changes as they come up? My favorite example, I'm going to go back to this thing in a moment. One, 2, 3, 5. 3, 2, 1, 6, flat 7, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 7, 6, 1. Every one of the main melody notes is in the chords. If you were to take G major in any of its relative modes and play the A minor pentatonic scale, there is always a note that you can play in the minor pentatonic that fits with each of those chords. I did the math at one point. I think it's 2, but it may just be 1. I think it's 2. Well, hang on a second. G, B, D. So that's going to be the G and the D, A, C, E. You get the 3. B, D, F sharp. B, D, F sharp. There we go. Right. It's just 1. Sorry. Let me back up a step. The minor pentatonic scale at A is A, C, D, E, G, A. The G major scale is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. If I take these triads for the key of G major, basically it's Mr. Vi would describe these as a chord scale, except for my slightly flattish F sharp, or naturalist F sharp. That's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and this is B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and that's harmonizing the major scale in thirds. And if I take the fifths and harmonize the scale in fifths, and take the thirds and the fifths and play them together, you end up with major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major. And that's going to be GBD, that makes that up. GBD, ACE, BD, F sharp, C, E, G, D, F sharp, A, E, G, B, F sharp, A, C, and GBD. When I got to my G major, A minor, B minor triad, the notes are B, D, F sharp. Well, B and F sharp are not in A, C, D, E, G. So when I go to the chord progression, I can add that B in there, but if I just want to stay in the minor pentatonic over this chord, I only have one note that I can actually play, which is going to be the D. So it's probably a pretty good idea Sorry, let me set up the chord progression so you can hear the tones on it. Sorry, I'm kind of, hold on, let me do that a little differently. Because I played it and I'm kind of making that chord sound like, I sound like the total sound. All right, so hang on, I'm going to take a left turn there because I'm going to take my own bait. I played these chords intending to have A be the tonal sound. I went, actually I went, and then I think I played twice as many. And because take my word for it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That's a chord based off the second degree, a 2 chord, the third degree, and a 6 chord. The weight of the 6 chord, especially when I play twice as long as these guys. Now, guess what I bent to right there? Over the B chord. I went to a B. Technically, I should have hit a B. So, outlining the chord changes a must. Let me go back to A during, which is what I really intend to do. All right, now we're really hearing that A as the tonal center. So when it goes from the A to the B, we're playing that B chord, but that's the note that's going to be from that chord that's in. So if I play this right, you'll hear me switching from A to B without playing the chords. So the idea is that you're always looking for the chord tones as you're moving through that. By ear or just kind of beginning to kind of go, hey, what are the notes there for the given chord, and begin to map them out. And after a while, you just learn what that is. All right. Okay, great question, Albert. Good morning, Emmanuel. How you enjoying your guitar? Brett, awesome. Thank you. I'm not sure which bit, but thank you regardless. Mike, what's going on, my man? Mr. Lucchesi, what's going on, man? That's how it was taught. Hello. All right, so here's the deal. So, this is where, getting back to this whole thing where I was talking about, if I go, most people can't then translate literally kind of across all 5 patterns. But the important thing about that is as follows, is when I play that phrase right here, I'm going to play it as it relates to that particular part of the neck. Again, when I do, and that's the singing part of the neck right there. Generally speaking, this little register right here from the 12th fret through the 19th fret or so is where and this is where this practicing it piano, mediante piano forte, and forte is so important, because when you're up here, you don't always, sometimes you do, but the idea, This area up in here is such the vocal part of the guitar neck. I wonder if I oiled that thing, it would stop doing that. That each one of these registers, and one of the reasons when people solo, they say, oh, it feels like I'm running scales, is because they don't learn to kind of play dynamically appropriate to the register of the instrument that they're at. And it's actually one of the things I see taught very little, which is really kind of silly, because it's such an integral part of the way the guitar is. I mean, we kind of know that we play Smoke on the Water. There-ish, right? Right? You know, so the things that we play, you know, we play in particular registers because they were voiced around that register. You know, we play. It just sounds wrong there. The beauty of it, if I play it right. And so that you know so this we're knowing the note names. I just had to make sure that it's A F E. That tonality of that string versus it's a little small in the pants there, but the drama that note has there, and too much. Sorry, I need to be going E F. Sorry, A F E. Not E. So, and then you're way away from that chord. That just sounds bad to play it there. So, you know, the ability to work with the registers of the instrument and in turn let the instrument, this is an interesting thing that, again, I don't hear people talk about enough, is like, what's the instrument telling you? At a particular register, if we're in E minor, so I'm bending from D to E. So if I play that, I'm going to bend D to E differently depending on where I'm at, and really kind of begin to go, hey, you know. And the thing about this, it's going to touch into another one of these concepts. Let's see here. Summit. Oh, hey. Oh, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, Fridays, unfortunately, for better or worse, generally have a tendency to be a prep day for today and a bunch of the other things that I'm working on. But welcome. Great to see you. The funny thing is that your last name, I think, is Litke, and I actually thought it was Lake, which is kind of funny. In any case, great to see you. Hi. And did you end up going and seeing Spinal Tap 2 last night, by the way? All right. So here's the thing. This kind of what's really happening in the background that we're chasing, right? We really want to be chasing when we play in some wacky key like B flat. We're not really thinking, all right, well, there's a B flat, D flat, E flat, F, A flat, and B flat. But when we need to be able to kind of go, it's a really big help to go, all right, well, that's the F. And be able to find that, oh, sorry, got to play the right phrase, you know, F, you know, so hold on. So let me not be a weenie here. F, A flat, B flat. Heck, all right, yeah, that is D flat. F, F, A flat, B flat, D flat. Yeah, F, A flat, F, A flat, B flat, D flat, B flat, F, A flat, B flat, D flat, A flat. So being able to find those flipping notes, that's a wacky key. But the thing about it is what we do is we'd be like, oh, I'll just hang out here, play it nice, and say if it's supposed to going, you know, hang on a second. Once I get comfortable with the note names and I can deal with this, then we begin to not be kind of what I call pattern stuck. All right, there's something that the primary theater cancel. Oh, wow. The primary theater canceled and everyone we go to Larkspur didn't go. Wow. So, sorry. I didn't include everybody else in the side conversation. There's a group of us that is kind of led by Chief Mason of Vertex Effects that we get together on Friday mornings. I go like once every 3 months. And we eat breakfast together. It's really, really cool. I spend a lot of time in this chair in this room kind of with one of these guitars prepping for this and the other things that I'm working on. But there's a social group and we get together and we went and from time to time go and see concerts. They went and saw Spinal Tap 2. We went over to a venue called the Independent and saw this great band from England that has a wonderful guitar player who plays with his fingers, plays a beautiful Yamaha guitar. Anybody want to guess who he is? Friday Fretworks as a hint. In any case, very, very cool show. All right. In any case, we kind of have this kind of social thing in the Bay Area. It's actually really cool. All right. Now, getting back to the focal point at hand, I want to talk about feel. So this is, and there's also something in here. I made some strange note. Oh, right. Okay, got it. It wasn't Matteo, but close-ish. He's Italian, actually, British, but I'll pay you some points there because he's a guy that plays with his fingers. I'll give you a hint. He's got longer hair. He usually keeps it in a ponytail, though. All right. So here's the thing. I want to talk about feel. This is one of the funny things that, again, we know that these things are there, but we don't cognitively think about them. We play the minor pentatonic. 2, 3, 4. Eighth note feel. Eighth note triplet feel. Eighth note. Eighth note triplet feel. So there, if I were to say, hey, play this exercise with an eighth note feel. Play with an eighth note triplet. Feel. So that's one of the terms, one of the ways you can use the term feel for. We can also think about feel as, I should say, right, I can just play it really dead. Or I can put some feel into it, right? Another version of that is tension and resolution is something we feel. We feel that tension there. We're like, gosh, please don't stay at the flippin' 9. Go to the 3 or the 1. Rick Beato would call that the 10. I call that the 3. Generally speaking, and I guess I'm going to call Rick Beato out by accident. If you're thinking about the odd number intervals in the first octave, they stay whatever number they are in the second octave, as in 1, 3, 5, 7, are still the 1, 3, 5, 7, but the 2, 4, and the 6 become the 9, 11, and, sorry, that was the 5, the 9, 11, and the 13 in the second octave. All right. Hey. Not Guthrie. But we're in the more. It's a great. A little bit more on the rhythm and blues this band that he's got. And they're really, really good. Got the Gear garage shirt on at the Australian Music Conference. Way to go, mate. Great to see you. Hello, Brad. What's going on? I heard some BB King there on my luckiest day. All right. Sorry. Focus, Fox. Let me get back to... So the one of the things I wanted to talk about was the tactile mind. What the hell does that mean? Now, as much as we've been talking about, hey, there's my E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E for E major, where we're engaging this thing, and then we're talking about with the minor pentatonic, minor third, major second, minor third, the intervals. Is that jazz in blues or jazz and blues? Let me know, Brad. But the deal is, one of the things that I think people do not spend enough time doing is really kind of is getting that tactile sense of kind of what's happening with my fingers here, really feeling, that is to say, they think about the sequence of notes rather than, hey, really as you're playing. So I'm playing the first 6 notes, and I double dog dare you to play the first 6 notes. I think we somehow used a double ARP to get some sort of discount at the Rolling Stones concert. Again, it went with Mason of all people, so that's fine. So if you think about this guy, and we think about the first 6 notes, and we were to think about them in, and earlier we were talking about notes play of 3 and 3, 2 and 1, 1 and 2, and then 3 and 3. Rather than just kind of going, all right, this note, that one out, but really feeling the tactile nature of what's happening underneath there, where as much as we're na 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 na, it's almost as if you were playing it with air guitar without actually being able to hear it. That, not like that. And really getting a greater sense of connection to your fingertips. I think one of the things that happens with players is that there are things that they want to play in their ear, but they don't always know where to place their fingers. And the more we can kind of blend and 1, flat 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, flat 7, 1. I'm going to sneeze in a second. G, B flat, C, C, D, D, F, F, G. The more we begin to kind of no, 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 no. And we have the ability to then be able to connect our fingers and our ears and our brains. So that is going to be a DFG, which I can then go, and I can find different ways of playing it once you know how to find D, F, and G, right? So, sorry, I started to get fancy there. So, for example, we could go D, F, and G. We can go D, F, and G. So what we're doing is kind of getting used to kind of going, hey, rather than just playing out of a shape, we just kind of get used to going, hey, let me find the notes, and let me get comfortable with the note names that I can move them around. It's still this. That's where the idea started, but the ability to then kind of go, what are my fingers telling me? Because if you spend enough time going 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 1, flat 7, 5, 4, flat 3, 1, flat 7, 5, 4, flat 3, 1, and G, B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat, C, D, F, G, B flat, G, F, D, C, B flat, G, F, D, C, B flat, G. You get comfortable with being able to kind of go, all right, D, F, G, B flat, G, and you just kind of begin to you know those things, and the tactile connection to that is a really, really important part of that. That's funny. All right, so that's what I call the tactile mind. So really being mindful of like, hey, what is this? What's happening here as I'm doing this? Now, Albert, you had a question about not kind of getting first finger stuck. One of the things I do want to point out, I've shown, I think, y'all this exercise before. but this is a really important one. So one of the deals, as you're moving from string to string, is not having, especially when you start adding distortion, but the idea, I wonder how this camera is going to do for that. I need to be over here. Hang on a second. Is that Brooks? What's going on, my man? I love you dearly, but you know that. Great to see you, you boogie lover, you. Let's see, what were we? We were, how about, there we go. All right, so the deal is, as we're kind of hanging here doing this little bit of business, what's happening is the first finger's playing the low E string, and I'm literally using the fleshy part of that first finger to mute the upper 5 strings. Then when I move to the 5th string, the tip of the first finger's muting the low E string. Why did my camera just freeze? That's not, oh, that's weird. All right, that was totally bizarre. The tip of the first finger is muting the low E string, the fleshy part's muting the upper strings, and I'm literally strumming all 6 strings. Then when I move over to the 4th string, the tip of the first finger is muting the 5th string, the right hand is on top of the 6th string, and then the fleshy part again is muting the upper treble strings. I'm literally hitting all 6 strings. Then the same concept happens when we move up here. And that's a really great exercise to just develop your muting control. Because as we're kind of doing this little bit of business, I want you to get used to hearing the sound of the G string. You're really going to get used to knowing. Right there, it's either the pinky doing the dismount or the first finger doing the dismount. On the way from the 2nd string to the 1st string, that's where the right hand needs to travel. I also want to talk about one other thing. Let's see. Let's go over here. No, let's go over here. There we go. Pick angle. So I've been working on different things and I've discovered that there are different types of sequences that require slightly different pick angle. As I'm kind of working with the pentatonic, for example, it's a little bit, rather than parallel with the strings, it's a little bit perpendicular, and that just allows me to get, that was the G string, by the way. And the whole point with all of this business oh, sorry. You heard a little G string ring there. Holy cow. The idea, though, the looseness. Now, one of the other things that somebody out there is thinking, well, what about, should I be playing and practicing without any amp? Yes. Should I be playing with a clean tone? Yes. Should I be playing? I have no idea what the volume is going to be like. Yeah, hang on a second. Should I be playing with a dirty tone? All of the above, because they're going to reveal different things. Actually, I'm saying on this little bit, I'm going to go over to bridge. As I'm playing here, I'm going to unmute the strings as opposed to that bit is super. As you're, sorry, that was not English. As you're moving from string to string across the neck, the different registers. you're working the different registers, being on top of the strings and keeping the guitar quiet is super, super important. Hence this. And it just takes a little bit of control to get that. All right. Oh, gosh darn it. Sorry, for those of you that's tiny font. Forgot to mention I saw Red Beach last Thursday at the Guitar Sanctuary. Lucky you. Oh, Andy didn't sit in. That would be great, Andy and Red Beach. So was that a Sir Clinic? What was that? Lucky you. Let's talk about what I call note envelope. All right, so there are certain things that happen in the playing realm, right? So as I'm playing, and I'm working with certain notes, my ability to play them, yes, sir. When you've got a certain amount of distortion, all you get, as opposed to volume, is a little bit more articulation. With the notes. When you dig in, with the volume all the way up. However, somebody mentioned Mr. Beck earlier. So as you bring things down, though, with the volume control, I went down to about 6.5. If I hit that, I have all the, I've taken all the, that's fingers, right? Pig. So, I think last week I mentioned that I was going to be working on and have finished a Badlander video series. Actually, it's spilled over into this week, and I'm going to start off with actually the first 4 videos just on the Badlander 25 because I've been playing this amp. I just have absolutely fallen in love with just the vibe. As you play different instruments. Watch me pull a Strat out of my hat. No, I'm going to go to a Tele. Gosh darn it. Technically a broadcaster reissue. And there's probably no place more important that your right hand matters than when you pick up a different guitar that has a completely different voice. So that's where all of this, again, piano, mediante pianoforte, and forte. Now, you didn't hear much of a difference when I really dug in. But the idea of that really matters as you're playing at different levels of gain, and being able to bring that essence out of the guitar is so important. Hang on a second. Oh. There we go. I also have, hold on a second. Too fast. How's Brad, you're the guy that's got the Silverback, right? Actually, I also have the Pete Thorne HSS Custom. Those are great guitars. F.U. Floyd, sir, that's a killer guitar, by the way. Pete met me last month in Dallas at the Bomb Factory where he was playing guitar for Five for Fighting. Oh, what a great band. I didn't realize he played with them. Saw soundcheck photos, and he signed. Oh, that's awesome. What a great band. He's been out on the road a lot. That's killer. Signed the back of the headstock. So the thing is, so this guy is $1,700. And I don't want to go down the rabbit trail of this amp because that's next week. But it's a $1,700 amplifier. And actually, I'll briefly rabbit trail. It's not mic'd up, and I'm trying a little something different. My overhead mic is there. But that's a 10. Open back and a mini Recto 112, obviously. Let's see if I lose. Actually, I should be able to do this. Let me do a little bit of this. That should enable us to get over here, and let's get you plugged in here. There we go. Come on, boot up there, pedal. Are you booted? Let me know when you're ready. Anytime. There we go. Oh, I've got it in the front end, so I don't have it in the loop right now. Oh. So when you're playing with a spanky clean tone, I've really learned that a lot this week, and that, again, as it relates to this conversation. Certain guitars... get away with digging in more than others. And this is where this right hand, kind of this tactile, get over there, make room. So the Strat, it's tuned down a half step, it's got 10s on it. The Broadcaster's got 10s on it too as well. But if I hit the treble string too hard, it's not groovy. One of the things I learned this week is that if I hit this guitar too hard, which I have a tendency to do, versus the envelope of this guitar needs to be hit a little bit softer. So if my technique is set around one dynamic level, if I play just one guitar, it's great. But if you switch different guitars, you pick up somebody else's guitar, you're like, ah. You know, for example, if you picked up Pete Thorne's guitar. So, yeah. Brad, are you the guy that had the Silverback Les Paul? I have a 50-50 with the rectifier recording amp. Bad tube right now. Ooh, bad tube, bad thing. Turing 412. Oh, you have the with the rack, the Turing 412. Oh. Kudos. Eric, thank you, Eric. Eric, Stevie Ray Vaughan. So the funny thing is, a Badlander is it's mainly known as a shred amp, but the other thing is being able to play without any stuff. Really revealing and very humbling. Tomo does that a lot. Tomo, or what does he do a lot? I love Tomo, by the way. So for those of you who don't know, I had the privilege of being able to teach at Corey Wong's guitar camp, and Tomo was a teacher at the camp and also played, and he was great. Just really... and he did throw the obligatory Tomo kick. He just kind of, that's part of what his it's not a shtick because it's sincere, but he was great. All right, I want to talk about another thing, which is as it relates to practice and ear training. So it's hearing something and then being able to pull a thread out. So I kind of did... So I kind of had this little note here, and I just kind of heard it. I want to rest on that for a second. So I kind of had this little minor 7. So Bear is basically functioning as the flat 3 of this, I'm going to call it a G sharp minor 7 chord, the natural 3 of a G7 chord, the 4 of an F sharp 7 sus4 chord. And what's really neat about this is you got this little moving minor 7th. Little movement there. All that is to say, there are times we play things that if we don't spend the time kind of going, how do we invite our ear to the party? So let's talk about, no, not on the Silverback Have guitar. There we go. Ivan S670QM. Nice. S570, 570, 670. Quilted Maple DEB. What's the DEB? What is a DEB? I said DEB. So if you want to work with your chord, well, let's just try it out of 10. Let me go. Let me get something a little bit. Which one do I want? So if I took... So if you took your triads, where's my modulation? Where did my modulation come from? There we go. Let's bring you down. So if you took a major triad and you lowered the 3 to the 2 or the 4, then the 2 chord, minor triad, natural 2, and the 4, the 3 chord, flat 2, the 4 chord, natural 2, sharp 4, the diminished chord. Oh, that's a pain in the butt to play. So that's basically 1 flat 3 flat 5, 1 flat 2 flat 5, 1 4 flat 5. So it's learning to hear. Those are kind of the, generally speaking, other than sevenths, the first things we start changing. So I took a, I will finally go ahead and tune this thing. It's basically a G major triad voiced 1, 1, 3, 5, and I added the 2 there, creating a little bit of tension because it's suspended, which creates suspense. The quality of the chord, major, minor, diminished. Has the 3 has been replaced by whatever thing you say, like sus2 by the 2, or sus4 by the 4. But one of the things that's kind of neat about these vehicles is that you can kind of use them and you start hearing the note that you're listening for and go, what is that? So there, basically that's a sus2 to a G major, and that's an E, technically it would be called an E7 sus2 because the 3's not in there, to an E minor 7. Sus2, sus2. Then what I'm going to do, hearing that, the upper part of that chord, so basically I'm taking this, oh sorry, hold on. Playing chords using your ear to kind of start adding the notes. Like, I hear that note. How do I actually play that? Dragon Eye Burst. I love that. All right. Okay. So first of all, getting close to needing to break off to go into my teaching day. So there was a lot of stuff that we kind of went over there that's near and dear to my heart. So those of you that hung out for the duration, I want to say thank you for hanging out for the duration. To those of you that tuned in, not for the duration, thank you for tuning in. These things, you know, the ability to leverage all these things together and kind of create a tapestry of stuff. By the way, my buddy Chris Alexander sent through a couple of questions, at one of which I'm going to answer now, and it was about, as it turns out, was his amp. All right, so where did that go? There we go. In the last year, what piece of gear have you been impressed with, most impressed with? So this Badlander 25, This amp just really kind of never really. Oh, that's in the front end. Sorry. Actually, a little low on that guitar. All the things that you might want to. All sorts of crazy stuff that just changes gears on us. I'm totally out of tune. All right, in any case, flipping great amp. I'm super excited. That's going to be one of the things I'm going to be doing this week. And just kind of walk through the crazy feature set. Thank you for just hanging out and kind of going through my crazy list of practice stuff for your practice. Not just a routine. It's super, super important that you get a chance to think about a practice ritual, right? Super important. All right. With that said, thank you for everybody that's tuned in. I really, really appreciate it. If you could only get my ADAT to work, yes and amen to that. It is on the... I am on the crush voicing. So it was from clean to crush. What's going on, Romero? Great to see you. Always a pleasure, my friend. You are a great player. And you always have the best photos, my friend. Always the best photos. But you knew that. Is that amp killer? Holy cow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Thanks so much for hanging out. And I'll see you next week. Thanks again. Always a pleasure. Bye for now. Cheers. I think I'm getting sick.